1 year after the great battleship Yamato vanished into the abyss, its remains lie frozen in a world without light, tilted 120 degrees on the seafloor like a giant monument to silence. No divers have touched it. No storms have moved it. Only the deep has shaped what survives. As the ROV descends, the first golden beam cuts through a darkness so dense it feels alive, revealing twisted steel, collapsed corridors, and objects frozen mid-fall by the ship's final tilt. Rust drifts like black snow, settling on bunks, broken tools, and the last traces of life on board. Every corner holds a quiet question. How does a ship this massive collapse into stillness? How much of its last moments can be read from the scars it left behind? We explore Yamato exactly as the deep has kept it for one unbroken year, untouched, unmoved, and hauntingly preserved in the crushing quiet of the sea.
The intense pressure and the unnatural 120-degree angle have transformed the crew quarters into a scene of chaotic, slanted debris.
A year after Yamato vanished, the first approach reveals a world shaped by darkness and pressure. The ship lies frozen at a 120-degree tilt, its steel warped, its surface is buried under drifting rust. As the ROV nears, each beam of golden light cuts through layers of silt, exposing scars and collapsed metal that have slept untouched since the day the battleship fell.
The Yamato now rests at a 120-degree angle. This massive rusticle formed over months.
Inside the tilted ammunition hold, gravity and collapse rewrote the layout of everything. Shell casings lie piled along the low side of the room, straps ripped loose, crates shattered by impact. Dust blankets every object like ancient ash. The scene feels frozen mid-motion, a violent moment paused by the deep, preserved exactly as it fell 1 year ago.
The deep gouges and abrasion marks on the casing tell the story of the sinking, preserved in the crushing pressure of the deep sea.
The crew quarters reveal how violently Yamato rolled before sinking. Bunks spear into walls, lockers collapse onto their sides, and personal items lie crushed beneath debris. Nothing rests where it once belonged. The deep sea has turned this room into a haunting snapshot of disorder, preserving the aftermath of chaos in absolute stillness.
The intense pressure and the unnatural 120-degree angle have transformed the crew quarters into a scene of chaotic, slanted debris.
The officers' quarters carry a quieter kind of devastation. A broken tea kettle, a collapsed desk, scattered papers fused to the floor, each object hints at a life interrupted. The room is tilted, battered, and dust-laden, yet strangely intimate. These were the belongings of command, now reduced to relics resting beneath a century's worth of pressure.
The ROV's beam illuminates the inclined cabin of the Yamato. The resulting plume of rust and sediment
The first engine room is a maze of twisted pipes and ruptured machinery. Steam lines curl like torn roots, gears sit locked under layers of corrosion, and control panels hang half-ripped from their mounts. Every surface carries the scars of impact, heat, and collapse. It's the heart of the ship now, a silent cathedral of broken steel. Deeper inside, the second engine section shows even harsher collapse. Massive shafts lean into walls, tanks lie torn open, and silt hangs in the water like black fog. Here, Yamato's internal failure becomes impossible to ignore. The weight of the ship crushed this chamber from the inside, leaving a cavern of bent metal and drifting dust.
Deep within the Yamato secondary machinery bay, the ROV beam reveals a devastating scene.
Here in the machinery bay, the golden beam cuts through the dense fog of silt, revealing the extreme 100.
This room once carried Yamato's voice and awareness. Now the consoles are charred, switches broken, wires slumped like dead vines. Communication gear lies overturned, radar plates warped, and fuse boxes hang open like empty shells. It feels like stepping into a memory erased by pressure, where technology has dissolved into fragments of rust.
Here we see the ship's radar, ripped from its mount. The golden beam highlights the deep corrosion. A glimpse into the communications sector. The violent collapse has twisted the signal wiring into an almost impenetrable mass.
Personal belongings tell the most human story. Bowls, ropes, torn clothing, storage nets pulled down by the ship's final tilt, ordinary objects transformed by a catastrophic descent. Each item is coated in dense silt, each surface frozen in time. It is here, among the smallest things, that the tragedy of the ship feels closest. The command center lies shattered and leaning, its wheel jammed sideways, its instruments broken from their mounts. Maps cling to the tilted floor, glass faces cracked into star patterns. This was once the nerve of Yamato, where decisions were made and fate was sealed. Now it is a hollow chamber, stripped of motion and sound.
Deep within the wreckage of the Yamato, we see the navigation mirror. Decades underwater have left it completely encrusted with rust and silt. The ROV beam reveals the extent of the
At the
damage.
deepest point,
Massive
the hull
blocks
is
of
torn
steel
open into a
violently
maze
torn
of
during
twisted
the sinking.
beams and collapsed frames. Rust pours like powder over every surface, drifting in slow sheets through the darkness. This core holds the final scars, the place where the
Deep
ship
within the
fractured
wreckage of the
beyond
Yamato,
recovery.
an ROV
What
beam
remains
reveals
is
layers
raw,
of compacted
quiet,
suit.
and overwhelmingly
Even the slightest
powerful.
The ROV's thrusters reveal a dense cloud of orange-brown silt, disturbed after decades of stillness.